Good morning, everybody. Perfect Storm Trading here. First thing, want to recap yesterday's PH trades, show you what happened. Remember, we had two method one identifiers, the overnight low and the overnight high. We had a couple of early morning signals indicated here by the red bar and the green bar. The red bar, I think this one had already taken place when we were on. That was good for about 9.5 points on the swing. The second trade, we ended up with some sideways consolidation. We had a breakout trade. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday when I've mentioned in prior videos, when we get a breakout signal and we get a continuation and not a reversal, the signal area generally indicates that the swing is halfway completed. So the distance from this low to the signal point, if this breaks out to the upside, which it did, the signal point to the high would be the same distance as the low to the signal point. So that's exactly what we had there. There wasn't much there. Depending on where you got in, it could have been a scratch to a couple points maybe. The next setup we had was the first method one projector, where the overnight low here projected to this area here right around 8:30 or so, where that signal came in right in front of those economic reports, and that put us right in front of a big move. Traded down into the signal. We got a long indication, got a really nice move there, and that trade went right up into our next mechanical signal, which happened here at the end of this purple section on the lower panel. That got us short here on the reversal bar, and that was another swing down, which was a pretty nice trade there. So two nice trades back to back. Then our second method one projection off the high of the morning here. We're projecting to this vertical line, matching the color pattern of the top two panels, light blue and light purple. That put us into this short, and when that trade was over, we start to consolidate into a triangle. So it was at that point when we traded back up into this area, coming up into our next signal, marked by this line and the green arrow, and then the next signal, which was the other green arrow. At this point, I had marked these trend lines in. We were making this consolidation. I don't like taking signals in those types of areas, so I did not trade in that. You can see we had two false breaks to the upside and a false break to the downside until the triangle finally resolved itself and then traded a little bit upward. But the last two mechanical signals of the afternoon with that kind of price action, I didn't take. Of course, whether you take that or not is up to you. I did not. So that's where we were yesterday. Nice day on the PH. Now I want to flip charts and go over a couple trend indications that we're looking at for today. Okay, here's the Astro Excel chart, and what we're looking at here, we got into this last night about 2000 hours, about 10 p.m. Generally, this area after the normal session close between 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night, that area is kind of our no man's land, where the indicators can be a little erratic, but then we start to get back and pick up steam again. You can see the green line today, which is the larger planet line. You can see it was stepping up. You can see the gradual step ups. And we can look at this in any frame to see it better. When you drop it down to a 4-minute chart, which is what we're looking at now, it's not as clear. If you put it on a 10 or 15-minute chart, you can see the step ups a little better. But every little step up and down does mean something, and you have to follow it. So you can see the green line is kind of hovering on the zero line, just above and just below the zero line all day today. The blue line, which is our intermediate trend, you can see we were trading up and we peaked out. We hit a kind of a flat top here between 2200 and 2330. And generally what happens, these spikes on the gray line indicate the areas of the highs and lows. So the trend lines I put on the chart here kind of are going with the trend of the blue line, because the green line is relatively flat with some minor steps up and down. So you can see we're kind of tracking that blue line. And as the blue line peaked, we kind of watch these gray line spikes for the actual top. And we generally we want to see those above or below the -10 area. And this top came in a little bit early, as the last spike above 10 in that area was in there. Anyhow, the trend did sort of flip down. We ended up double tapping, which is fairly common in the AS, and now we're trading down. You can see the blue line stepping down. The green line steps down here, actually goes below zero, crosses the blue line coming up here at 7:30. That may be a turning point. And then the blue line's just tracking at zero and then moves below zero at 11. Now the green line steps below zero at 7:30 and is tracking below zero here until it steps up a little bit around 2 o'clock. Both lines are relatively flat all day. So our trend indication from here is going to be flat to slightly down. I want to move over to the Vedic chart and show you what the trend indication is on the Vedic. Now on the Vedic chart, we're in this big bright green zone in the third panel. And what happens in those zones, we get significant highs and lows. So in this particular zone, you can see we've made this high. This is a 4-minute chart as well, same chart we just looked at on the prior with the Astro Excel indicator. You can see we made that double tap in this area, and we're in this green zone in panel 2, and that's a bullish zone, but we're battling the red zone in the second panel from the bottom. So we got a little bit of a cross current there, and that's given us this sideways move. But we did get our anticipated high in the third panel bright green zone here. This does not mean that there can't be a higher high. We may get a higher high in this zone until we get to 11 a.m. this morning, but it's probably not likely that that's going to be the case, because we go into the red zone right here, coming in at about 7:40. If you remember from the prior chart, we're flipping downward at 7:30. So the two different uncorrelated trend indicators are in sync here, where this is showing we're going to be in a downward trend from 7:40 for the rest of the day. So now what we're looking at here, our two primary trend indicators are the second panel and the fourth panel. They're both in red, which is down. And then at 8:55, the second panel turns gray, which is neutral, which is still going to be dominated by the downtrend in the fourth panel here. So there we are. We're kind of in a downward pressure zone until the close today. We have another neutral zone that picks up at 2:40. So the overall pressure is still going to be down. So we've got down, neutral on the second panel, and we're down on the fourth panel, which is a little bit of a larger trend indication. And then that corresponds with our Astro Excel sheet, which is neutral to down the rest of the day. So that's kind of what the trend should be today. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you again soon with another video. Thanks for watching.